Hey, Sebastian, showmeat.com, Wheatworks Pro.
He's caught me in the middle of a new one.
People want to hear that stuff. But we got Randy Jenkins, aka the gospel guy, here with us. He's gonna show us some things. We've been getting questions about the peanut butter sound and the stuff that he was doing with the 5080 to 3080. So he's gonna get in depth, show you how to create that sound. As you see, he's got it right there. So he's gonna help you out. Okay, tell us.
All right, so like I said in one of the videos before, the peanut butter sound, I just named it that because it's just
Smooth,
a thick,
like peanut
smooth,
butter.
yeah. I can do a lot with it. Up tempo ballad, it sounds real good, especially layered with the infamous MKS. You know, um, if I use maybe bring in some strings, you know, um, real nice. Something's there, but it's not as abrasive or aggressive as a like
It's
a
like underneath.
yeah, real
Yeah, a
underneath.
bed. A
Um,
bed.
so the sound you can do it with if you just get any synth brass sound and you kind of know how to maneuver, in the board and get understand the cutoff, the filters, and some other stuff. You can kind of create the sound anywhere. If I'm somewhere and I don't have this, which is rare, but if I go somewhere and I don't have it, and I don't have my computer, I'll grab a motif or something and do it in there. But this sound that I'm using,
Oh, you can mimic that sound to a certain extent on a motif?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
because it's basically a synth brass sound, but there are other little nuances
That the
that
JV
that this
lends
will
it
allow
to.
me to,
Yeah.
so
Hmm.
that's why I'm partial to this. I have the sound sampled in my
Computer.
computer, but it doesn't
Just
quite
in case
play.
you don't have your rack with you.
Yeah, and let me just clarify this because I got a lot of friends who we all got mutual friends, and so the dude he's phenomenal, Kevin Conley, I
Yeah.
think that's his name.
Yep.
Pretty simple
Show me
music,
that. Yeah.
pretty
Show
simple
me
music,
that
and he
alumni.
did had a video
Yeah.
with you, yeah. He's got some dope videos out. Duke and plays behind off, um, and he's 95% right in the fact that he's been really advocating for getting doing away with hard synths
Soft
and
synths.
getting
Yeah.
soft
He's
synths,
got this whole soft synth thing
and
going on now.
he's 95% right. The only reason why I give him the 5% is because I traveled that road. When I found out about Auto Sampler, I sampled every keyboard that I had, every sound I wanted, and was using Mainstage and got rid of all my gear.
Hmm.
And then I noticed that the sounds weren't playing the same way. It was the same sound.
Sound, but the way it interacts with the hardware
It
is
wasn't the
different.
same.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same. And then I realized, you know what? It's the synth engine in these hardware pieces that are driving the sounds to do, what
Certain
it wants.
a sampler just does it a certain way.
Right.
It looks at the sound, any sound, the
Right.
same way and puts it out the same way. Whereas there are nuances and like say this Kronos engine versus the Roland engine
Right.
versus the Yamaha engine.
Right. They're all different. They all have their spins on, LFOs, and all have their takes on filters and how the envelopes react. How everything is working together to produce that one sound.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't get that when you're using an EXS 24 or Contact, or
Yeah.
you can edit it and you can do certain things, but it's not going to be the way this company
Yeah. Yeah,
designed it.
there's certain nuances. I guess for some people it's cool if they can get close
Right.
because the convenience may outweigh
Right.
that small nuance.
Right. Which is
Just
why
taking your laptop. Yeah.
which is why I downgraded tremendously. I had in my rack before, it was like 60 pounds. You know what I'm saying? It was a pain to take everywhere. I had a 3080, a motif rack, an MKS rack, Matrix 1000, which is from Oberheim. You know, and and the mixing board.
Hmm.
Now I just have this, which can act
An
as a
Apollo
can
acts
act
as a
as a standalone
standalone
mixer.
mixer. Yeah.
And this.
And that.
And when I don't want to bring this, I have most of the stuff I want is in my
On my
computer.
laptop, yeah.
But I know it's not going to really be when I really want to get busy. I
You
bring this.
rather, yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to be clear. You can go that route, and that's cool. It's going to work.
Yeah.
But don't think that you're going to be able to play everything like the actual hardware units. Nothing takes the place of hardware. Nothing. And I use some of the best software emulation, some of the best plugins. UAD makes some of the best plugins in the world. I got Waves plugins. Nothing beats the actual hardware unit.
And you know, that's always a debate with a lot of guys, that whole hardware versus software. But like I said, I think it really comes down to convenience.
Right.
The convenience of the laptop may outweigh those small nuances
Right.
that a lot of people are not going to pick up.
Right.
But like you say, in certain situations, it makes you feel a little more comfortable the way that emulates the sound versus the way the computer does.
Right. And personally, I'm very anal about the sound. I'm very anal about the way the keyboard interacts with the sound, because the keyboard becomes an extension of my
It's your expression.
right. So if I push down, I want it to be what I want it to be, and I don't want any inhibitions, any obstacles. And I'm gonna feel it immediately. I don't hear it, I feel it. So when I play it, I'm like, this ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Something that just resonates. I don't want to be too new agey. 'Cause I'm not new. I'm not a new. Where's the camera? I'm not new age. I love Jesus. But
right.
all right, I'm just playing. So anyway, well, I'm not playing about loving Jesus, but you know what I'm saying. So this sound comes from the 2080, 1080, XV3080, 5080. They're all based. It's all the same thing. The 1080 JV-1080 is the rack mount version of, I believe, the JV-1000 keyboard, and then they came out with the XP50, which was like a 1080 with a sequencer. Then they came out with the 2080, which was like a 1080 plus an additional 2 banks, I believe. Then they came out with, in 2000, 99 or 2000, they came out with the 3080. And they came out with the XV88, which was a piano version of the 3080. And then they came out with the XV5080, which is the 3080 plus an additional bank. And the 3080 is the 2080 with an extra 64 voice polyphony, so it makes it 128. And it has an additional bank from the 2080. So you got A, B, C, D, E, F. All right. And then in the 5080 is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. All of the sounds in the A, B, C, D, E banks are identical to the 2080. So if you got a 2080, it's basically the same thing. But it's the polyphony is what's really, that's really the catcher. Because you see here, if I just go, let me go to, I'm in patch. Let me go to the actual patch that I use for the peanut butter. Where I start with is
Polybrass.
PRA. It's in the A bank, and it's number 68. And you see here, it's one. It says tone equal 1, 2, 3. All right, I don't know if you can see that. Three tones. All right. Turn this MKS off. So, all right, if I hit this one note, that's 3 actual tones in the keyboard being played. So that's 3 notes of polyphony already being used. So if I play a 3-note chord, that's 6 notes. So if I imagine if I play a, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, or 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 times. That's 24 notes.
Right there.
You know what I'm saying? So, 64 voice polyphony can get eaten up really quick. So.
Consequently, a funny note that I want to add: Roland is actually the only keyboard company right now that makes a 256 polyphony board. The Jupiter 80. A lot of people don't know that.
I'm jonesing for it.
That board.
Come down on the price.
That board is incredible.
Yeah.
A lot of people do not know that fact. you can get 256 voices out of that board.
Yeah, I really that's an incredible board. And I just every time I think about maybe selling my V-Synth to get one, I just can't do it. I cannot
Can't do
part
it.
with my V-Synth. But yeah, so you got 128 voice polyphony. Um, this is the way to go. I would recommend just getting a 3080 or 5080. A friend of mine found one on eBay for like $150. I paid $160 for $165 for this one.
See, now after you do this video, now all of a sudden the price not going.
Well, carry up and get it.
Carry up and
find,
get it.
find where you can find. A friend of mine put me on to the fact that if you find if you find a joint with cards in there,
That's
you
a
can
bonus.
you can maybe sell the cards and get some of your money back.
Yeah.
Never pay over $275 for one of these. It's too much. You can find them out there for like $250, $225.
Yeah, because I think I got my 5080 for about $2.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's ridiculous. The 5080 is a little more. That's a tremendous steal. 5080. I want to be in the 350, 400 range for a 5080. There's a lot of other things that 5080 can do besides play the sounds. They can play samples, from Akai and Roland. All that stuff. So there's some bonuses there. But this sound can be found in the 1080, 2080, 3080, 5080. It's PRA 68 poly brass. All right. This is part of the sound. You're never really just hearing one sound with me. So I'm gonna hit palette. All right. Well, I'm gonna go to TVF first. All right. This is my filter section. All right. That's the low pass filter, which basically allows the lows to pass through. High pass filter, a band pass filter, allows a certain band in the frequency range to pass. High pass filter and so on. All right, so I'm going to go use low pass filter. Here's my cutoff, which is where the filter actually starts. So I'll just demonstrate real quick. All right. Actually, let me hit palette so you can see what's going on. So these three lights here, these are the actual tones. 1, 2, 3. And you can see them here. That's tone 1, tone 2, tone 3. All right. So I'm going to hit these lights. Now nothing, right? Turn this light on. Now you see how dull that is, right? I'm going to close the filter all the way so you get nothing, right? Open the filter. It's not allowing any of the stuff to pass through, any of the sound to pass through. And I'm going to open it up slowly. If I increment to 10, and now it's letting all of it pass through. And that's just that one tone. All right, so you can essentially have one tone bright, one tone dull, all your personal taste. All right, so I'm going to go back to this original, which was 66, I believe. Here's all three tones. All right. Now, let me just show you this real quick so you kind of can see. If I hit wave, that will allow me to see the actual samples that are being used in the keyboard. And then you can change those sounds as well. Let me turn this off again.
All the samples are set up as numbers.
Right. And they have the name too, Synth Saw. Right? So Synth Saw 1. Let me change it. Synth Saw 2. You see them changing? And the sound starts to change. So I just went, all the way over. That's a steel drum. So the keyboard itself has a zillion samples and sound sources for you to choose. You know what I'm saying? And you can kind of get the tone you're actually looking for. All right, so I'm gonna go back to TVF. Got my palette on. All right. I'm gonna actually use a global effect for this, a global cutoff, which is in common. This is gonna affect the entire sound. All right, so I'm scrolling down. I hit common. All right, start scrolling down. All right, and I'm going to go to here. So this is the cutoff. This will affect the entire sound. So I won't have to do all 4 numbers. All right. All right, not quite right yet, but we getting there. All right, so it's kind of the vibe I want. I gotta edit some things. All right, let's see what this release sounds like. All right. This is the attack. You can make it really, really bite. You can make it really swell. So you see really quickly, just by adjusting a few parameters, the sound starts taking on a different form altogether. And you can really get a lot of use out of just one sound. This is a resonance. I'll turn that down. I usually turn it down all the way, most sounds. Let's go over here. This is my secret weapon. This analog feel, which basically causes the sound to drift, the tune of the sound to drift. So it sounds like not this wiggle, not the modulation.
Yeah.
You know, not
just a certain
not that
inconsistency.
Right.
I guess that's one thing when you sample it, that sample won't do that.
It won't have it. All right. So now you can sample it with it, but you'll never be able to change.
It'll do it the exact same way every time. It's not gonna be variable.
So if I turn this all the way up, which I don't do,
you
hear it going out of tune. All right. But you want ever so slightly. Sound like a cooking channel. Put it to like 35. You get a little funniness going on. All right, so that's cool for right now. We're gonna go back to my TVF page. There's some things I got to get to there. Well, actually TVA, which is my amplitude section. I'm gonna scroll down. This is the level of the waves. All right. I'm gonna scroll down to I want time. All right, and that's basically the attack. If I turn these off again, just so you can hear, so that's that one sound. If I adjust this up, that's the attack. Time 1 is basically the A of the ADSR. You know, all right. And as I said, every keyboard has a different. Some Roland keyboards do have ADSR, but that's essentially what it's doing. Now I want this thing to sustain a little longer. All right, so that's the decay. So now it's holding a little longer. All right, turn these back on. Do them for everyone. So you see it before it was kind of going out. Now it's holding.
Stays there.
All right. Now I'm gonna do the same for the attack for the filter, because you're actually hearing the filter not keep its hold. So I wanna see that? Now it's just staying where it is. If I bring it back down, so let me go to 1. So you hear that wow, right? That's actually the filter doing that. So if I turn it up, it'll just go wah. It'll just stay there. See that? All right. All right. So that's one sound that we're tweaking. So I want it to last. I want that wow. I want that sound, but I don't want it to die out so quickly.
But you ain't kind of pronounced in the beginning of the attack. And
right.
Back off, but don't back all the way off.
All the way off. Right. So we'll turn them all up to 67. That's what I got it kind of where I want it, where I like it. Turn these voices back on. Let's turn them down a little bit. Let's go 63, 62. 62. Let's try 59. Okay. All right. So we got that going on. Let's save this right now. You hit utility because once you get to a certain point, you want to just save it to make sure you're not, going to lose what you did. Because I've lost hours and hours of work not saving. So hit utility, right. All right. Hit enter. Where's it at? Enter, and we're just gonna overwrite this patch. I already have this thing saved, but for right now, we're just gonna overwrite the patch. You hit enter again. It's gonna say, "Hey, your memory write protection is on. Just turn it off. Don't worry about it." Yes. All right, completed. All right, so now we're gonna go back to editing. Now it's in the user bank 68. All right, so we're gonna edit. Further editing. We're gonna go to effect. Turn the palette off because we want to affect the whole thing. All right, we're gonna do stereo EQ is what we're looking for. Let me just make sure my okay. All right, so that's the low frequency. All right, and this is the high frequency, mid, and then mid 2. All right, so it's basically a 4-band EQ. All right, so I'm gonna start with the mids. And you see that it sounds like a duck quacking. It's like, it's mad high, really nasally. That's this range right here, 1,000 kilohertz. Anywhere between 800 and 16, somewhere around there. So I'm gonna do like a general sweep. I'm gonna turn just like I did for the motif. I'm gonna turn it all the way up, and I'm gonna find the I'm gonna turn it all the way up, and I'm gonna find what's going on. Just a note: make sure output assign is on MFX, multi effects, not output A, because you're just hearing the straight output. You're not hearing anything. All right, so make sure it's on MFX. So now we're here. Let's go find that frequency. Go down to mid 1, mid 2. I don't hear anything. Hold on. I can't do this from the side. This is crazy. I'm like lost.
But your people gotta see what you're doing. I know it's hard because you're not used to doing it that way.
All right. Let's do this. Let me hear, because I'm not hearing what I want to hear. All right. Should be something. Should be working. It's probably something stupid that I'm doing.
That you're not hearing it happen. There's an output of 3.
It's definitely on. I don't know why I'm not hearing what I want to hear. It's funny though, because we're gonna do this all over again when we get to performance.
Oh, so you have to do it another time in performance.
Yeah. All right, well, let me keep it moving. I don't want to hold you guys up. Let me keep it moving. We'll come back to it. I'll remember eventually. All right, so we got this. That's kind of where I want it anyway. I wanted to get some of that nasal stuff out and clean it up. All right. The next sound is gonna be in the B bank. All right, and that's the let's go to hit patch, preset, not user, and we're gonna hit B bank. Actually, the Wonder Bass. And that's
Wonder bass.
PRB 39.
So that's that sound in there.
All right. I don't know if anybody knows, but if you listen to Jesus is a Love Song,
Jesus
but the one on Finally Karen.
Oh, Finally
When
Karen.
they did it live, and the keyboard solo on it. I'm pretty sure it's that sound. seeing that there was an XP50 on the keyboard, on the organ.
XP50 sitting on the organ.
I'm pretty sure it sounds just like it. I could be wrong. I've never met those guys.
Could be wrong, but
we have mutual friends. But
it sounds
I'm
close.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
The Wonder bass.
All right.
Okay.
So now we're gonna go. The path to this is a little bit different because as you hear, this is.
All right. So first you got to make
some
it
monophonic
poly.
sound, right? So a lot of guys want to know how to do that. It's actually a lot simpler than it seems. You're gonna go to Control, right? You're gonna go to Control. You're gonna scroll all the way up. Okay. Assign mode or assignment. It says mono. Just gonna turn that to poly. All right. And that's it. All right. Now, we're gonna go to this wave section again. I'm gonna hit my palette button because I want to find that clicking.
Oh, pull that click, smooth it out.
That's what I'm looking for right there. Okay. Got that. All right. And I'll play with these. See if I find one that I like. You know, you can, like I said before, you can change any one of these to anything you like. So say you don't like a certain sound, you want to change it, you can move it around, get it to do what you want it to do. All right. I'm going to roll with these. I'm going to go to my filter section. All right. And I'm going to scroll up back to the numbers here. I'm going to turn that down. Can you hear that? If I turn the filter up on just that one sound, so I'm going to turn that down.
Starts to sound like a farfisa.
Which is really, you know what's funny? It's funny you should say that. That is the sound that everybody actually, that whole Hugo bass thing.
Oh, yeah?
Well, what happened was, if you look at, again, I encourage everybody to do their homework. Just do your homework. There's a documentary on YouTube called The Minneapolis Sound. I think it's what it is. I was doing some research on Dr. Fink, which is the keyboard player for Prince back in the day. And I was doing some homework because I want to know where stuff comes from. I want to know.
Yeah.
I want whoever I'm into. I want to know their influences. I want to know who those influences were. I want to know. I want to go as far back as I can because that allows me to get my own take on what. I don't want to just be a copy. I don't want to. I want the essence. I don't want what you're doing. I just want the essence of what you're doing, so I can make it my own.
Your own, yeah.
So
you're not a carbon copy.
No, I don't want to do that. So I was watching this documentary, and he was playing this sound. Well, first I was reading a magazine article. He was talking about he was using an Oberheim a lot for a lot of Prince's stuff, and there was a Farfisa patch. It was a patch made to sound like the old Farfisa organs, and that's what he was using. Which is why you get that that you know what I'm saying, that whole thing happening. And I forgot exactly the article, but then it made me do some more research on Dr. Fink, and then I found the Minneapolis Sound. And if you watch it on YouTube, you can see him. He's performing with another band, and he's playing an Oberheim, and it sounds just like what we do in church. That sound. And I know a lot of guys. I know a lot of those dudes, man. If you listen to the Kimberell live album that Jermaine Nelson put out, he's one of my favorites. He's one of my influences. Dope cat. Had the pleasure of playing with him one time when I was playing drums. Just a beast. We all know who he is. If you don't know, shame on you. He's out in L.A. now, he's a pastor. He still plays. He still got it. I watch his stuff on YouTube.
He ain't lost nothing.
Oh my God! And you can hear that sound on there. You know what I'm saying? So, while certain people made it famous, I've heard that sound other places. So that that Farfisa, that's what Cats is trying to sound like. So anyway, got my filter happening, and it don't sound like much right now, but when I layer it with the other sound, you're gonna hear. So let's save this. All right. Well, actually, let me go to my common edit again, and I'm gonna go to analog feel once more. That's what I'm looking for.
That little irritation, agitation at the end of it.
That's gonna sound crazy underneath the other sound. All right, let's get this cut off and resonance. All right, right there. Just a little bit. 4. All right. All right. I'm gonna save this. Right. Enter. I'm so lost doing it sideways. It's crazy. All right. So now I'm good. All right. So let's go to performance. All right. And I'm gonna just go to a sound I don't have. I'm gonna let's do. All right. I'm gonna hit utility. All right. Let's go over to initialize. All right. Enter. So now it's just piano. All right. Now you're gonna go to. I'm in performance. You're gonna go to part. You're gonna read the blue. All right. So these colors correspond
with the line
with the mode that you're in. All right. So blue is performance mode. So I'm gonna go part. All right. My palette was already on, but normally it'll be off like this. A palette, so you can see them all. All right. I'm gonna scroll down. Patch. There's a patch. I'm gonna do user. Actually.
Wonder bass.
All right. So that's my bank. This is patch and rhythm. All right. I'm gonna scroll down. These are the banks. I'm gonna scroll to the user bank. I'm gonna go get my first sound, which is 68. That's the brass, poly brass. All right. Then I'm gonna do my next one. Scroll up. All right, user. I'm gonna go to my other sound, which was 39.
Wonder bass.
All right, and you can move these to wherever you want. I'm just doing them. When you save in patch mode, you can save them to any number you want. I'm just doing it right now, just because we're I'm just moving quickly. Now I'm not going to hear anything if I play. I'm only hearing the first one. All right, because this is set up to be used, as a sequencer, from a sequencer rather. So it's on a different MIDI channel. So a lot of guys go, man, I'm trying to layer and I don't hear anything. So you got to go to MIDI, right? MIDI, change that to channel 2. I mean channel 1 from channel 2. All right. Let's go back to part. Now I hear it. All right. Now, this scroll down, you get the level. All right. I'm gonna turn this up. I'll turn this down. So you
subtle.
It's there, but you don't. It's really undercurrent. All right.
I guess that's a lesson for guys to understand. Every time you're layering something, you can't look at, I gotta hear each sound. Some of them, the way it's so subtle, it's like it messes with your mind. You don't know what you're hearing.
Right. And that's what you want. You want nuances. Nuances are not in your face. They're slight changes or they're slight variations. So it's there. I'll turn it up. You hear it. But I don't want it. I don't want it because then I get that clicking.
You don't want that.
I don't want that. I want it there, but not so much in my face. All right, so. All right. So now, I'm kind of good, right? But there's some things I want to change. One thing I like about the 3080 and the 5080, it allows me to have some control over the filters inside
a performance.
Excuse me, inside of performance. All right, so here's the cutoff offset. So I can get a little more in depth what I want. All right. Turn these resonance down. All right. I'm pretty cool. All right. And you could change things from mono to poly in performance, whereas before you couldn't do that. And now you can. Which is a good feature, especially if you like tweaking on the fly and you like doing stuff, on the fly. You don't want to have to leave the performance mode to make an edit and then come back to it. You can just kind of do it right there while you're playing. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go to effects. All right. No effect sound assigned yet. All right. And hit overdrive, distortion, phaser. We want stereo EQ. All right.
So right now you're trying to pull out some of the brightness.
Yeah, and I want to know why it's affecting one sound. I'm having the biggest brain fart today. It's all good.
Because right now what you were doing there was more of a global. Should have been global. Or?
Well, no, it's only affecting one patch. I need to turn this to me. You want to
go ahead, turn it to you,
so I can see what's going on here. You don't do it for so long. You want to. All right. Here we go.
All right, push it back so you can see it.
All right, so you hear all that, right? So I'm doing a sweep of the mid. This is what I was trying to do in the other. Let's actually change. Let's actually change this from MIDI 1 because I want mid 1 to do something else. So I'm gonna do mid 2. All right, I'm gonna attack that nasal area is between like 8 and like 225. And I gotta boost it all the way so I can hear the actual frequency that's annoying me. Right? It's not so much that like right there. See how it start peaking and distorting? I want that right there. So I'll do 16. All right, and I'm gonna scroll over. I'm gonna bring that down. All right. Let's go back up to mid 1. Let's do the same thing. I want to clean some of this junk out. I'm gonna do 630. All right, now these numbers just represent the number on the frequency spectrum. Sound moves, cycles per second. Whatever, however many times it moves per second, and so this is just basically 630 times. Which when it moves that fast, it produces a certain range or a certain sound. So I'm gonna cut this. Because as those two sounds were made as they were layered together to make one sound, this is going to be layered with something else to make another sound. So my mind is always knowing I'm going to be using this to layer another sound with.
Yeah.
So I got to be conscious of what frequencies, if this is going to be with a piano is kind of like, in the middle. So this can't be, because it'll be too much congestion in the middle frequencies.
Don't want it too thick or congested.
All right, so what I do is I got it kind of sounding kind of right. And let me bring in my EP, see what that sounds like. All right. All right, let me see. It's cool, but there's certain things that I'm not hearing that I want to hear. All right, so let's go back to those sounds. Let's save this, right? Now let me do this first. You name your sound this way. You hit common, and if you scroll all the way up to the top, so depending on where you were in the common menu, you scroll all the way up to the top, put your palette off. There's you can turn the dial, move the cursor over, and you can, save it, name it, whatever you want to name it. All right. So we're going to do right. We're going to do utility, right, just like we did for patch. Yes. Yes. All right. So there's my sound. Whatever I named it. All right. There's my sound. Let's go back to patch. All right. Let's go to we'll edit Wonder Bass. There's two things I want to do. Let's go to control. All right, because I want to get this. Remember I told you want to change this because I want to hear that without having to use the mod wheel.
Oh, you want to hear that without having to push the mod.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to control. All right, every keyboard is different, but we're going to do control. and we're gonna scroll down. Now this is the modulation matrix, and let me see how what's the best way I can explain it. You can assign various parameters, pitch, um, the filter, the amplitude, the LFO. You can assign them to different parts of your keyboard, and I'm trying to figure out the quickest way to explain it. System control 1, I think it's hardwired to the modulation wheel. System control 2 is the aftertouch, and I think there's like 4 of them you can do. You're basically scrolling down using system control 1. All right, it's controlling the LFO, which is what moves the sound. LFO's the pitch depth. All right, right now it's at -13. All right, and it's assigned to only the first 2 tones. So the actual second tone is not. The last tone, nothing's happening. I'm moving the wheel, but nothing's happening. Now, if I was to set this up, turn it on, all right. Now it's moving. All right, so we're gonna turn it off. All right, let me turn these back on. Sorry, I'm gonna turn this actually off because I don't want this mod wheel to be. I don't want the mod wheel to do anything. So nothing. All right, now I'm gonna scroll down. To this is control destination number 3, which is actually the aftertouch, and I'm gonna do now this. We're using a Kronos today, right? The Kronos keybed produces a different feel than the Yamaha keybed. So each keyboard you use, you're gonna have to adjust it to the keyboard you're playing. So when I'm pushing down, you see there's a light happening, but you don't hear any sound. There's no change because it's not registering the aftertouch. So I'm gonna turn this up. Actually, no. Hold on. Sorry. Let's do pitch destination. I'm gonna have to turn this again. Destination 2. Sorry, it's destination 2.
The second one. Because the first one is the actual.
Let me set it up. Hold on. Sorry. Like I said before, when I was explaining the matrix, system control 1 was hardwired to the modulation. System control 2 is the pitch. I can't see it when I'm looking like that. I'm not reading it properly. All right, so here, let's go. Here we are. All right, so you hear me pushing it now. All right, so if I turn it down where it was, right, it was at 12. I push down. You don't really. You see the light. You see the light moving. But you don't hear it.
Going,
All right, so I gotta get this module to respond better to the keyboard. So now when I push, right? So now this way, I'm not reliant on the wheel. I can get it to play straight, and I can just play it the way I want. When I want to bend,
have to lift up a hand to
right?
bend.
So if I'm playing a chord. All right. So now I'm hearing that, and it's cool, but it's a little bit too fast. So I'm gonna go to the LFO section, hit palette again because I want to get to all 3 of those sounds. All right. Now right now they're at 95. Let's hear what they sound like at 87. It's a little too slow. Let's do 90. Now they're not all playing at the same. They're playing at the same rate, but not at the same time.
Ah.
So we want to do key sync on.
So it's trigger at the same time.
It all of them move at the same time in concert. Right? All right. All right. So let's save that. Enter. All right. Let's go to 68. All right, that's the poly brass. Again, we want to go to control. We want to turn, this pitch from the wheel. We want to turn that off. All right, so that's system control 1, not destination. Let me just turn it down. And you can go over here actually and just turn it off. Mm-hmm. And if you push the dial in, things move more rapidly. See that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you push it in while you're turning.
And and it skips. All right, so we want to do it's a system control. Now see, for system control 2, the aftertouch says it's going to produce more. It's going to open up the cutoff. It's going to allow the filter to be a little brighter. The harder I hit it, and when I push down, you hear that, right?
Yeah.
I don't. And let me just exaggerate it. So I don't want that. I want that off. I want when I play it, I just want it what it is, right? I'm gonna assign a new function. I'll go down to destination 3 and scroll over to LFO pitch depth, LFO 1, right? Pitch depth. Let's do. Now see, nothing is happening because there's nothing. There's no. You can't really see it, but
I can see it.
Here's 1, 2, 3. All right. Same thing. That's cool, but it's moving a little too fast. Let's go down here and let's slow this down. LFO 1 rate is at 96. All right, and we want to change that. Let's do like 89. There you go. Maybe a little faster. 92 again. All right, just enough. All right, let me save that. All right, now we're going to go back to performance, right? Go to performance, palette, or part, and then palette. So now it's... So I get that wiggle.
And mind you, you're normally playing that layered with a piano, so the piano's not going to do that. Just that's going to do
which is why we don't want it to respond with the wheel, because other sounds may be
affected by it.
Right, and we don't want that. We just want that. So I'm gonna turn this back on.
So now that's
right. Let's turn the strings back on. Right. So I'm getting that when I want it. When I don't, It's not there. All right. So that's essentially it. You do do it to taste. Do it. I mean, I showed you I took a. I don't want to say a long time, but I wasn't exactly direct. It's been a minute since I've done it, so there was a few things that it took me a minute to remember.
Yeah,
but
I guess with technology, it's like once you set certain things, unless you're doing it on a constant basis, you
forget
it. Yeah.
I forgot. But I mean that's basically it. I showed you where the things are. You can kind of just go through there. Do not be afraid to read the manual. I mean, I read the manual. That's what it's there for.
Unfortunately, we live in a world where people don't really want to read. If it's not on YouTube, they're not real. That's just the truth.
Well, I mean, I came up in an era. I don't want to sound too old. I mean, I'm 34, but when I came up really doing this, the internet wasn't really
you didn't have
as
all that, so
accessible.
you had to read, yeah.
And I didn't because I felt like I'm smart enough to
figure it out.
No, you're not that smart, bro. Just there's a reason why these people made the keyboard, and they're telling you, check this out. You need to know how to run this machine properly.
Understand.
Get this, read this manual, sometimes the manuals don't make sense at first. Like it doesn't seem like it's translating, but just read it until you get read it slow. Like you're not. It doesn't mean you're dumb. It just means you need to figure it out.
Yeah.
So that's it. I would say read the manual. Really, get inside the keyboard or the board, the module, whatever it is, and tweak to taste. A friend of mine.
Your taste may not be everybody.
Exactly. A friend of mine was like, "Nah, I want it like how you had it." I'm like, "Yeah, but then that's not. That's you're playing me. Like
that's the mentality.
Do your thing.
It takes a while for musicians to get past that because a lot of times the truth of the matter is a lot of people like to emulate certain people because in a certain kind of way it gives them their validation.
Right. I do it. I swagger jack. There's no hiding from that. You know what I'm saying? I steal from the best.
As you grow into who you are.
You take the essence and you make it yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're absolutely right. It adds validation and credibility. It's like, oh, that's that sound. Oh, yo, he sound like so and so. That's crazy. But then once you got their attention, now it's time to move them to where you really are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do. I know we don't really have that much time. I'm gonna just show these cats, really quickly. What it is, that I do, because I get a lot of questions about the Hugo bass patch as well. Basically it goes like this. When I first heard the sound, I thought it was one-on-one bass. Like I said, I know the JV stuff very, very well. So I was able to kind of hear and go, that's definitely the JV. That's not the motif. That's definitely, he's got a rolling somewhere. Mm-hmm. And I kept looking, and the camera went by his rack, and I saw the 30. I was like, "Oh, that's the joint I got." Yeah, all right, cool. I knew it was that sound. I knew it was not the motif. I knew it. Yeah. So Hugo bass, which is B32. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Again, common. I mean, not common. I'm sorry. Control. Go up. Change that to poly. All right. So you're already halfway there. All right.
So you went to common and you made it poly.
Right. That's half the battle right there.
You know
what I'm saying?
Then after that, you can kind of like tweak it to
you could tweak it to there. You use the effects. I'm a big advocate for EQ. You can use chorus, which fattens the sound up. Mm-hmm. I kind of stay away from the reverb thing. Yeah. But let me show you what happens. Also, because I had a friend of mine who was like, "Man, your sound is so much more thick, though." And I had to show him. I use one-on-one bass, All right. All right. Now I like that. I like that. It's got a more. It's a little. My sound is just more round. I don't really like bright
Yeah.
stuff like that. So again, common. I mean, control. You know, you do mono to poly. Now I was doing that back in college. You know, so I kind of I knew I was like, yo, that's a bass sound. It's probably one-on-one bass because that was the only bass I really knew, or the really only bass that I liked. So I was like, but he had some other stuff. I heard some other high-end frequencies, so I went searching. I knew it was in this module, and I went searching. I came across this patch, which actually is not it, but it kind of worked out. It's in the C bank, and it is called Juno Strings. Let's see if I can find it. Juno Strings. All right.
So you kind of combine those?
Originally, I did. You know what I'm saying? I had to turn off the effects. Let's go to effects. All right. Let's turn off the reverb. All right. I'll leave the chorus. Change the multi-effects to stereo EQ because we're going to tweak that. So now you got nothing, right? We go to, I'm going to just do a quick thing. So I'm going to do a common.
Yeah, real quick because we're running out of time.
Common. I turn the drift on, right, to about 40. And let's get to this release. Let's turn that down. Right. Now, when I put them together after being tweaked, they sound like this. All right, so that's the way I like it. You know, and other people can do what they want.
Yeah,
you know, it doesn't have to be exactly the way somebody does it. You use your ears, and you find, if you do your homework, you find what you like, you find what the board offers.
Yeah.
And you go from there.
All right.
You know?
All right, folks, you got it. From the man himself, gospel guy.
All right.
Check him out. Thanks a lot. As we always say, if you really want to play, don't play around.
Don't play around.
And for all the saved brothers, with all you're getting, get understanding. Bless you.